Hi guys, I'm going to do a little video today about my pros and cons of going to university. These are obviously going to differ depending on where you go to university, what country, what type of university and what course you will do. These are what I've personally found, but if you've got different ones, be sure to leave them below for me. So I'm going to start with the pros I found of going to university. I've only done about 4 or 5 of each one because I didn't want it to be a super long video. But one of my first pros of going to university, and the reason I went to university, was because for my career that I wanted, you had to have a degree. Like, there was no really way around it. I've noticed some jobs you can get around having a degree by like working your way up, but because I want to be a nurse, you have to be a degree nurse now. There's no pathway to go up into a nurse, but that is a big pro for me, like going to university. I wouldn't genuinely have gone to university if I was taking another degree course that necessarily didn't lead right out into a job, because I've got friends that went to university a couple of years before me, because I went slightly later because I took a year or 2 out to care for my grandmother. So I went to university, like, I was technically a mature student, which is weird because it considers anyone after the age of 21 a mature student, and you can literally, I've seen like 40, 50-year-olds go into university and sitting in lectures, so to call a mature student 21 and plus is a bit nuts. Number 2 on my pros list, I found that when I went to university I met such a range of people, because you don't just meet people that you go to like lectures or classes and things with. You meet like loads and loads of people. You meet people in the library, you meet people when you go out, you meet like people you know from your like cohort, which is your year at university. They know other people, or they might house with another person, or they might be a flatmate with someone. So you meet like such a wide range of people. Like, I know people from Ireland, Scotland, down south. I know people all throughout the country now because I started this degree. So number 4 kind of ties in with number 3. I found going to university really improved like my money management and my time management skills. Like, I wasn't awful at them before, but it kind of enhanced them a little bit more, because in university you get like periods like 6 months where you have an assignment that you're given and you get like 6 months to complete it, which I don't think in college and like schools you get that. I'm trying to think where you possibly, maybe, I don't know if you had like big projects at work or something, you may get such a big time frame, but it actually improves your time management skills, because you know, okay, I have 6 months to get this done, and you really want to get the best mark you can, so you don't, well, you try not to. I say try not to because I have done it occasionally, left assignments right up to the last minute, and it never works out. It stresses you out way too much. But I have definitely improved in my time management. I'm getting better. I use my planner for that, and that's definitely improved. And it also improves your money management skills, because you get large loans. I'm quite lucky because as a student nurse you get a student bursary, and that comes in on a monthly basis, whereas most university students get, I think it's quarterly loans and grants, which come in every 4 months. You kind of get one in September, one at Christmas, one at Easter. I think that's it. So they kind of come 3 times a year. So you really do, especially if you get like student accommodation, things like that, you have to be able to split out your money, and you need to be able to make it work for you and budget to make it work for you. And finally, number 5, it would not be a student pros and cons for university video without mentioning student discount. One of the perks, a very big perk of going to university, is you get a student discount, and it really, really, really helps you. The amount of times like I've been able to get someone a slightly more expensive present, or it's helped when I've had to buy a lot of stationery, just little things like that. It's only about 10% in most stores. So I just have a really quick couple of cons that I found for university. Some of these don't necessarily apply to my degree that I'm doing, but when I was thinking about university and thought about what might put me off going to university, I thought of these things specifically. Now the first one, there is a number in it and I've estimated the number and got like a rough average offline. So if it's slightly wrong, I apologise, but it's a rough guide. Now if I wasn't doing an NHS course, it would cost me to go to university roughly £35,000 to £40,000 for 3 years of a degree, which is a lot of debt to end up with. A plus of that is you don't pay it back till after about 21,000. If you earn more than £21,000 a year, you don't have to pay it back, which is a bit of a plus. But I really wouldn't want like £40,000 of debt like hanging over my head. Next, I think it's a bit of a grey area, that unless you really know exactly what you want to do and know that you are going to walk out into a job and you're not going to struggle finding somewhere to work straight after your degree, if you pick the wrong subject and you don't realise until kind of the end of your degree, you've wasted a lot of time and a lot of money, because you then have to pay to redo a degree. Well, not redo, you have to do another degree if you find something else that you like. And like, I am normally really indecisive, and nursing has been the only thing that has never changed. So for me, I knew, okay, that's fine, I will go into nursing. But if you kind of were really indecisive and then halfway through your degree I went, oh, I don't really know if I want to do this anymore, I can't see myself doing it for like 30 years after university, then there's not really much point you doing it. So it's one big thing to like think of, is you need to know exactly what you want and exactly what degree you need to go into the career you want, which is another big one that kind of ties in with the next one, is that you need to know, say for instance, I don't know, you wanted to be a forensic scientist or something like that. You have to do like a bit of back research to know, okay, this is the type of degree that I need to do, this is average kind of how many recruits each university takes. A lot of universities will tell you that thing, and then you kind of need to scout out some places and find out how often they recruit. Some places don't recruit as much as others. Like nurses are always being recruited, some jobs might not be recruited as much. So that's something to definitely think about, because that could be a major con, is you could know exactly what you want to do, have it set in your mind, finish your degree, and then there'd be no recruitment or no suitable recruitment for years afterwards. It's something you need to think about, definitely. And my final one is more kind of accommodation related in university. For instance, I live at home, which I love. I've got my own personal space. I live with people that, yes, I get along with about 80% of the time, and I have we have boundaries. Like if someone's getting annoyed or has had enough of someone, we know when to back off each other. Whereas if you move into accommodation, there's no guarantee that A, you're going to get along with the person you move in with, B, that they're not going to, you could be a neat freak and they're an absolute slob, and you're just like yin and yang, you don't go together. So it's definitely, that was one of the things that put me off moving into rented student accommodation. I would have rather have gone from home straight to my own apartment or my own flat, primarily just because I am very kind of neat, well not neat, kind of like I like everything to have a place. That doesn't necessarily mean neat. It just means I like everything to be in a certain place so that I know where it is and I can go and get it. Whereas I don't think if I'd moved into student accommodation that would have worked out. But that's mostly my pros and cons of going to university. These obviously differ depending on each person's experience of going to university, what degrees they've done. So it's definitely one of the things, if you're thinking about going to university, look at a few of these and try, I don't know if you'd be able to do this on YouTube, but see if you can get a couple from different areas of where you want to go. So for instance, I'm in Liverpool, you might find someone in London who's done a similar video. It's just doing research. That's basically it. Do your research, know that you want to go to it, and it's what you want to do, and it's what you want to do for the next 30, 40 years, because that's going to be a big impact in your life. Definitely, if you guys have got any pros and cons that I've missed off, leave them below for me. I will of course leave all my links to all my social media below, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Bye guys!